before. As I started going through the boat safety checks, I've undone a can of worms, which is very similar to what I found when I started looking into the tides. So what I really want to focus on tonight is safety pertaining to boats. There are a lot of other issues that have come up through my conversations with the boat owners during the week that we do need to explore as a club. Anyway, I just want to step through the boat checklist that we have on our downloads page and get some feedback on the things that we are checking. And I know there's a lot of changes. Just talking to John this afternoon, we've already got a list of changes we need to make to this boat checklist. But I thought if we go through it as a group, and I can get some feedback as we go. So I'm not going to cover up on, if you put that up on the desktop. Okay. For those at home, if you want to read along on the boat checklist, it's available in the download section of the VSAG website. And I'm not going to go through every line item. I'm just going to go through the points that have raised a few issues with me. So first of all, now the committee would like to start storing your boat registration, trailer registration, and most importantly, your insurance details. It's mandatory within our club if you're a boat owner to have marine insurance. It's for your third party. So don't assume that the insurance that the club carries is going to cover you. So you have to have your own marine insurance. We haven't always kept those on file, but going forward, that's something that the committee decided we are going to start storing. If you can send me through your expiry dates on that, it'd be great. The diver capacity. Diver capacity of your boat is divers plus gear. And I think we work on about 150 kilos per person plus gear. Is that about right? Does that sound a reasonable figure? Yeah.
Plus gear?
Plus gear. So we're talking 180 per person.
180?
What, 200? I don't know. Depends on if you have 2 tanks and 15 kilos of lead.
Yeah.
So come up to 40 kilos per person, 50.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a sort of litmus test you worked towards?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Was the water coming in from outside? By the look at some of those boats back then, it was only.
They get out with the pencil line.
So another consideration.
Sorry, Les, I shouldn't have asked you.
Another consideration might be: are you going to do single or double dives? Because that's a huge bearing on the capacity of your boat. So PFDs, you need a flotation device per person. I was stopped by the police at launch last summer and told that everybody needs a pipe. So these inflatable units, these have quite an extensive checking procedure that has to be done every year. I blew this up 3 days ago. That's one of the checks is to inflate it for 12 hours and make sure it doesn't deflate. When you inflate them, you have to remove the inflator, the little gas valve, and you have to weigh them. Every one of those has the weight stamped in them. I brought this one into, and this is a common problem with these inflatable jackets. The anodizing on the inflators is very poor.
Wow.
Now, this is a very old jacket. The worst one of mine in a boat that's only got 100 hours on it doesn't look like I've got a jacket that doesn't look much better than this. So,
What about the ones on your previous boat?
so to pass, there's 2 qualifications. You have to be able to read the information that's stamped on it. On this one, obviously, you can't. Because the next step is you have to weigh them. So,
Wouldn't you just get a new one?
in this case, you would.
Yeah.
But if you've got a bit of salt on them, so let's go through this example because, okay, when I went to test this one, first problem was I was keeping it in the manufacturer's pouch and you can't open the zip.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a problem.
Yeah, rusted.
When you're in a hurry to get a jacket on, you don't want to be finding the knife to get into the bag that holds the jacket. So I had to cut the bag open to get into it.
We'll put a hole in the device.
So, you know, this is why you don't put them on halfway out the heads. You know, you've got to do this in advance. Oh, next thing I did, went to open the Velcro up to check it, and of course the Velcro tears away. And you have to open the Velcro this side when it's passed, so that you can write the date that you've done your checks on. Yeah, you have to fully inflate them for 24 hours, like I've shown you on the other one. So this one here, this was the worst of them that I found. So I've got 6 jackets on board, and we go through the heads quite a bit. So I'm always handing these jackets around, and they're getting splashed, they're getting damp. So I've cleaned this.
Sorry to interrupt.
Carry on.
Scotch fillet?
I've cleaned this one up a little bit with vinegar, and so all the data on it is readable now. I've got to put my scales. Anyway, I've got, so then you have to put this on kitchen scales. Manufacturer weight of this is 148 grams. You need to download your life jacket testing instructions.
I guess anyway, everyone out there is saying this here, so you want
Down, forward,
Looking good.
down.
No, that's good, you're doing well. You'll see, yeah, right, here's the camera here.
Oh, there we are. Thank you. That helps. Okay, so I've got instructions for half a dozen different jacket manufacturers, and you have to know the variation from the manufacturer's weight of this cartridge to see if it's in your test. So this is 148 grams, so it can be up to 152 or down to 146.
No, well, it's much simpler to go back to the old fashioned vests.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Which is
Yeah,
what
so
I
you've got
do.
to, you have to be able to read the stamps in there. There's an engraved mass of it. So I went through this and I checked all my jackets, following all the procedures up to step 9. And then I realized, oh, there's this check sheet I'm supposed to do for each jacket and check them off. Okay.
This
And
is on the download files, is it?
no, you've got to download this specific to your own jacket.
Oh, okay, right.
All right. And then it advises you don't store these on your boat in case you get pulled over.
Oh.
It's evidence of your checking.
That's right.
Ah. That's not just about.
So I looked at this and thought, right, I've got 2 choices. Either I carry these jackets and say, here's a jacket, you can keep it in a waterproof bag and don't put it on, whatever you do. Or I can just go back to the old foam ones.
The old phone.
So I think I'm going back to the old foam.
Yeah.
Like really,
I've already done that. yeah.
the annual inspection regime for this, absolute pain in the proverbial.
That's amazing.
Fire extinguishers, I've learned a bit about that. I didn't realise it was pertaining to the volume of fuel on board. I thought it was boat length, but there you go.
Excuse me, before we go on, is there a testing procedure for the old fashioned one that you have to go through?
I haven't bought one yet to worry about it, but when I get one,
I bought 4 of them, but there was no sign of any testing procedure other than, is it in good condition, yes or no?
Okay. Visual condition, visual.
there probably would be on the manufacturer's site.
Yeah.
But the inflatable ones, wow. Anyway, so with fire extinguishers, the up to 1 kilo extinguisher is only good if your boat has less than 115 litres of fuel. And I'm pretty sure every one of the bar crushers,
It's 200-300.
yeah, so it's a minimum of 2 kilo extinguisher.
If my boat's on fire, I ain't hanging around, I'm getting off.
No, I don't care who the extinguishers have here either.
Captain's Friday.
Maybe empty the extinguisher and use it as a float.
Hopefully after your crew.
They've got their own free will. They're supposed to go down with a sinking ship.
Boat Safety Victoria have given me these very convenient stickers, which are available. I've got heaps of these for all the boat owners.
You have to put your thing down on the computer.
Sorry.
Short thingy
You
down.
do it there, that camera as well.
Really?
It's me, no, it's me, it's me, it's me.
How about that? Right, I've got these handy stickers.
They're upside down. You can't put them down. Hard to saw like an eagle.
Love it when the crowd's on you. So. Now with the stickers, so this is a good way of recording things like your rego date, when your jackets were tested, your fire extinguisher, your flares, and your EPIRB, all those expiry dates of batteries and those sort of things. And I've got a huge mountain of them. They were keen to give them away. One of the questions on there was fire extinguisher, and there's no, on the fire extinguisher there is no expiry date. So what I did was, it's got the little check thing attached to it. I calculated how many years before I run out of spots, and that came to 2028. So I figure I've still got to check it every year, but in 2028, I'm not sure if that's how we're supposed to.
Also with your fire extinguishers too, is you actually need to shake them because it all settles to the bottom of the extinguisher. So that should be part of our routine, is to take it out of its holding, turn it upside down, shake it a bit to make sure.
Or go out the heads in them. Yeah.
Well, especially out in winter.
Okay, buoyant torch working. I've also got a heap of these bags to give away. Once again from Boating Victoria. This is your emergency grab bag. So I had all my emergency stuff in one hold next to my toolkit, manual and everything. The idea of this is you separate out your flares, your torch, and some drinking water, and a whistle. They didn't give us a whistle, so I put a whistle on it.
Does it float?
Well, I added that
Okay.
just to make sure.
Good thinking.
This is my compliant torch, which I never use on the boat, because why would you? But it gets me through compliance, so I've just got a little plug for Murex Resorts in.
So that water's not very old then.
It's been in there for about 2 hours.
Probably Scotch.
And my flares, which still have 2 months to go at this point. So I've got a heap of these grab bags, so all the boat owners, if you would want to grab one of these, I think it is a good idea. So now when I do my boat induction session, I've explained to people that if I'm panicky, grab this and run away.
You can race me in the water.
Yeah, race me into the water with this. But also on my boat, usually there's a dive torch, and this is the actual torch I use for really finding stuff, because I mean, you want a real torch for that. Bucket with lanyard. Okay, these are great because they're compact and they're compliant and they fold up, and when the police ask you to see your bucket, theoretically you can do this, except the beautiful nylon zip has a metal zipper on it. Don't get them near salt water. So anyway, so there's my compliancy bucket, which no one's ever allowed to use or get wet.
Andrew, the other thing I did make an inquiry too.
Yep.
There's no stipulated length. for the
There's what?
lanyard. There's no stipulated length for the lanyard.
Oh, right.
It'd be 30 centimetres or
Yep.
10 metres. It's up to you.
So 1.5 meters is pretty good.
You're generous.
Right. Yeah, so be careful with that. If it has got a zipper on it, do not get it. Probably best don't put our boats in salt water. Bilge pump working now, that is an important one. Okay, flares, they seem to go out of date so quick, it's ridiculous.
Flares, don't leave the old ones on board.
So with old flares, there's a list of permitted police stations where you can drop them off. I found my local one is Glen Waverley, but there's actually, it doesn't seem to be many city ones. There's a lot of rural ones, but anyway, there is a list online of places you can drop off your old flares. It also says a registered and licensed, so you got to have your radio license, operator's license, and have your radio registered. When I was checking that today, your registration of your boat to your radio has an expiry of 3 years. So don't forget every 3rd year to get back online and update. They want to make sure that your EPIRB is still with the boat and you're still the owner of the boat. So there is an expiry date on that. And the club uses channel 73. I'm going to put a sticker on the dashboard of my boat so that anyone else on the boat can be aware of that. But I've also got these, another handout, VHF Marine Radio Channels Guide. I'm still on this one.
Yep, and this
On that one. I've also got a heap of these stickers that anyone who wants to slap one on their boat. So I'll put that right above my radio. Just while we're on stickers, let's complete the list. I've got another sticker for the buoy system. And if anyone's read Peter Moss's quiz for tonight, that'll answer 2 or 3 of his questions. That's a handy little sticker to have. And this sticker is about just a little reminder on boat speeds and that sort of thing. So you've got someone at the helm that's not your regular captain. There's a couple of good references there. I just cut out the red section because that's all that's really relevant and put that on my dashboard. So it's like speed near shores and speed near moorings, that sort of stuff. So yeah, plenty of giveaways. Thanks to Safety Victoria. All right, on our boat checklist, there are a heap of things which are general maintenance stuff that I'm not going to go over tonight. Till we get down to first aid equipment. I've had this club kit for a season, and when I went to check it, I thought, oh yeah, there won't be much to do. It's a club kit. I mean, you know, I've never used anything out of it. There can't be anything to do, right? I did add this into the kit for some light reading. But first bandage I picked up, expiry date 2012. So
Who's the asset manager? He should have been on that.
So-
He should have been on that.
yeah, so whoever checked this before I got to check it, didn't read those bits for at least a decade. So I'd suggest if this kit's like that, that maybe all the club kits.
Yeah.
And I
Is it still usable though? Oh, yeah.
I think, look,
Yeah.
As it happens, it doesn't hold.
But at least there's a visual check that it is usable.
I've had the discussion that, you know, when does the bandage really expire? But I think since most of it is a decade plus beyond its use by date, everyone has got a club kit, plus your own kits, we're going to have to refresh the whole lot. And we maybe need to do an audit, see how much needs refreshing. It might be cheaper to buy a heap of first aid kits and switch contents.
Good job for a new asset manager.
Yeah, asset manager and safety coordinator, I'd say.
Are you retiring?
I have retired.
I'll have to update the slide there.
Sorry, yeah, it does.
So
There's a lot of keen volunteers. That you can support.
So a fair bit of work to do in our checks this year with first aid. Where else up to? Toolkit for the boat. Things are a lot simpler now that I've got this. Because I used to have all that sort of stuff rummaging around together. Now the safety gear is separate. So I think that's an awesome thing to have. And toolkit for diving, spares. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I think that's another discussion for a night. And I really think we need to go through what sort of spares we expect most boats to have on board. O2 kit. I opened the club O2 kit up and it fell out on the floor. Shouldn't just name it like that, but it practically did. the zips are gone, so we need to consider how important are the zips. Ian, talking to him, he thought we had scissors in here. I think the scissors are only in the defib units.
They're in the defib, yeah, I checked mine.
Yeah,
so-
they're defib.
Yeah, so there are no scissors in here, so
You're right, there were no zips on because of the corrosion on that one. And there was a few others.
yeah, okay, so we need to give consideration to that, and I'd say these masks. I don't know what the dates are, we need to consider that for an annual refurb.
Very good points.
And I don't know how to check a bottle, I'm not, yeah, so we need to find out who,
I did send you a update.
so, yeah, we need to go through that. I don't know how to do it, so I'm not gonna tell anyone.
No, yeah, the O2 bottles for the P-type ones don't need to be serviced as regularly as.
Every 5 years.
Yeah, so I think we're up for that,
Yeah, I did it a year ago or something.
right?
Okay, knife or knives, sorry. EPIRB I have mounted in my boat, but they also suggest this is something goes in your emergency, so perhaps the Zodiacs, maybe Zodiac owners might find this would be more convenient in one bag than, I don't know, but
Zodiac's meant to have, people.
I wouldn't go out the heads with that one.
Yeah, you
Personally.
wouldn't go out the heads in a Zodiac either, would you?
Well, not, no, unless it's 6 meters plus.
Why wouldn't?
Anyway, so on scissors, I ran some experiments today on trying to cut through a stubby holder because I'm sick of this stubby holder. And so Tanya's upset with me taking the kitchen scissors, but I found that they're not too bad actually. So I reckon kitchen scissors are a bit of a winner. Pruning shears that haven't been sharpened.
Yeah,
Okay, without a good sharp edge, not much chop. These are awesome for fishing, right? So if I'm trying to open up a fish, that's all right, but it's a bit of a battle, right? I've also bought some webbing and stuff too. If anyone wants to have a go later at cutting things open and just see what actually does work. These are medical scissors, came with my home first aid kit. Look at that.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Operation, that.
Yeah. So medical scissors, I mean, they're tiny little things, but yeah, if you want to have a go later and see what you carve open, as long as the pub doesn't get too upset. Oh, and Stanley knife, but
No.
okay, now you wouldn't want to be doing too much muck around with this. So anyway, look, I'm open for a discussion on the whole knife setup.
I think the knife setup is, will come into its own when we do a bit of a debrief about the recent incidents.
Yep. All right, so I'll just raise it tonight for consideration when you're going through your boat checks. O2 keep kind of, oh yeah, nice. I just want to cover a few more bits and then we'll wind up. What are we up to for time?
7:05.
Yeah, okay, right, we're going all right. Shot lines and weights is one of our checks. I'd like to maybe have some suggestions in there for maybe new boat owners to the club, have some consideration of what sort of length of shot lines we generally as a club set, because of the conditions we know we have around our areas. Drift lines, mermaid lines, ladder pinch points, battery conditions, right. So battery condition, there's a very good download on the VSAG downloads page on how to maintain your batteries, what sort of battery to have in your boat. I think there's 2 authors on the battery download, but anyway, that's quite useful. So have a read of that. It also talks about the types of smart chargers you can have, pros and cons of various smart chargers, and how to extend the life of your battery. Defib checks. Have we got a defib here? Or? Right. So I don't have a defib, but I'm supposed to be sharing one with Ian this summer. Is there checks that we do annually to that, or is it?
Not really, see, other than just checking that the light's flashing whenever you get on your boat.
Yep.
And then you know it's alive and going.
Right,
And if it stops flashing, well, then you've got to, do a change.
so that's it.
Yeah.
Flashing red light, good.
Yeah.
No flashing red
No
light.
flashing light is.
Bad.
No good, not good.
Right, I think I remember that. Yep.
Andrew, just for the members, here is, how many boats do you say roughly have?
The bookwork says there's 25 boats. Realistically, there's about a dozen active boats.
How many defibs do we have?
We have about 4.
Yeah, I had 3 or 4, so I think only 3. So one of my proposals has been that the club needs, it'll become apparent, when I do we're in a financial position to add some more if the club members want to spend the money on that. There are some other options as well, but it's, we want to make sure that the money that we have is used for the club side of things, so just bear that back in mind.
We're a priority of safety and diving.
We can do two, yeah, we can do multiple things, but we just got to balance what we do going forward.
So the defib check is not a line item on our general boat checks. But John raised that with me this afternoon, that it should be a line item. And another idea we came up with. Okay, so and now that we've got these safety grab bags, we should check that we have one of these on board. We've checked its contents, obviously. And something I'd like to advocate is every boat has one of these. This is my briefing sheet that I read through with every crew, every dive. And I don't care if you've been on my boat before. In fact, if you've been on my boat before, I'm likely to hand you this. It doesn't actually have answers on it. It just has dot points of everything I need to run through. So it just has like the word anchor. It doesn't say anything about the anchor. You've got to know how to operate it and talk through that. So, and it says life jackets. So if you've been on my boat before, I'll say, here you go, Walter. You tell them how all this works. And I've broken this into sections on the departure procedures, the dive briefing procedures, and the dive entry checks. I'd like to put this out for a discussion paper, and then if we're all happy with the general layout and make sure we've covered everything, then we'll put it as a download so that every boat could have one of these. Evening. So in conclusion.
It's all my fault.
All action there.
Yeah, and I think Ian will just take it from there. So look, I am going to wrap this part of the evening up at this stage so that we can have a little break before and some dinner before the main event. So any boat owners that aren't here tonight, if you can reach out to me, and somehow I'll get all of these giveaways to you. And also I'm going to really start hounding over the next month to get your boat checks done. We'd like to have everyone in line by Cup weekend is our cut-off for boat checks to make sure all of our boats are compliant for the season. We've also got a first aid course coming up, which Stuart's hoping to put together for the 19th of October. We haven't worked out the pricing on first aid courses yet, but it'll be at a reasonable rate for a club course. Yeah, I think that's it. If anyone wants to now have a go at cutting up my old carry bag, scissors are here. Oh, here we go. Hands for some stuff in. How do I get them out?
Just pull, break the rust.
Yeah. See how these?
Yeah, they're good those.
Oh yeah. Thank you, guys. Righto.
So they're cheap and,
And these were awesome.
Oh, yeah?
They were the first aid kit.
Yeah.
But they look a lot stronger. And I've also
actually.
I've got a bag, an old bag here I'm throwing.